rewind to 2015, where an incident at the airport started a journey that would redefine my life. Over the weight limit of my luggage and unwilling to pay the additional fee, at 24 years old I didn't actually have the additional fee, I was forced to unpack my suitcase right there at the check-in desk. Not a daunting prospect for most, unless, like me, your suitcase is full of items that you would rather go undetected. Cheeks hot with embarrassment, I opened my case, bystanders watching as I unloaded box upon box of tampons onto the airport floor. I was absolutely mortified. I wanted the ground to swallow me whole. When I sat down on the flight, it suddenly occurred to me how problematic my reaction to this experience had been. Why was I so embarrassed that this queue of people had seen that I used period products? By this stage, I'd been menstruating for over half of my life. Yet for the very first time, my eyes were opened to the stigma I felt around menstruation and my own body. I started to think about experiences before this one, realizing that I had been part of an elaborate cover-up. Smuggling period products, not just in my suitcase across borders, but more frequently up my sleeve across classrooms and office floors. Concealing negative symptoms through gritted teeth, and making panicked bathroom phone calls to co-conspirators when evidence leaked onto my phone. Upon arriving back in Hong Kong, I started speaking to people casually at first about menstruation, eager to understand why this stigma exists around our bodies. I spoke to a diverse group of people, from students experiencing their first period to those navigating menopause, my mum included. It was very clear to me through this that even in 2015, we were destined never to graduate from the same fear, shame, and confusion around our bodies. If you had mentioned the idea of period positivity to me then, I would have laughed. By 2016, I was living in Shanghai, where these conversations had evolved into full-blown workshops and events. If I wasn't talking about menstruation, I was research. It was frankly consuming my life. So much so that I became known to many as that period girl, which, by the way, I loved. Through this, a community started to evolve. People that came together to talk about the topics that are so important to our life, but shrouded in shame and mystery. It was through this that my own relationship with menstruation and my body started to change. Could it be that with the right tools and support, this experience that I had dismissed as inherently negative for so long be reframed into something more positive? Dare I say, something better? By 2017, the role of the traditional feminine care industry in deepening this menstrual stigma was front of mind. At first, we'd laughed about the unappealing packaging of products that we had no choice but to buy every month, or the advertising that felt so far removed from our experience. I, for one, have never floated through a field of flowers in a white dress during my period, despite what the marketing material was telling me. Most significant to me was when I realized that almost 100% of menstruating people I spoke to, myself included, could not name the ingredients of their period products. And I, because of a lack of transparency within this industry and the taboos that exist around menstruation, had never thought to look deeper into what they were made of. By the end of 2017, I had stopped laughing. I dreamt of the role that a disruptive period care brand could play in eradicating menstrual stigma. Imagine beautiful non-plastic packaging designed by local creatives that make us proud rather than embarrassed to buy these products. Imagine products made from ethically sourced, healthy and planet-friendly materials. Imagine a brand built by a community that has values just like you. In 2019, Luna was launched. We are that disruptive period care company that I dreamt of, built between Hong Kong and Shanghai by a team of people who actually have periods and our growing community. We are building a period-positive future. We exist not just to help people make informed, healthy product choices, but to truly disrupt the way society treats our bodies and their natural functions. We know that this is better for all people and our planet. We do this through 3 ways. The first is education, access, and community. Education. To date, we have delivered over 1,000 period workshops and webinars in Cantonese, Mandarin, and English to schools, corporates, and communities to tackle menstrual stigma. Today, to scale this education, we are building digital resources to reach more people across the region. Critically, these resources are not just for people with periods. They are for people of all ages and genders. And that is how we can truly be inclusive so that period-positive cultures can thrive. Here is an image from one of our corporate workshops in Hong Kong, where you can see all staff tearing apart traditional period care products for us to reveal their plastic content. The second is access. I'm going to introduce you now to a concept that unfortunately many of you will already be familiar with. Introducing the DIY toilet paper pad. We found that over 90% of menstruating people in Hong Kong offices have had to make one of these DIY toilet paper pads at work because their employer does not provide access to free period care products. To highlight this point, I want to share a quote from our community. My company is one of the world's largest financial institutions. We have many great perks and a pantry full of free snacks and drinks. But today, I had to deliver a meeting with the toilet paper between my legs. I think we can all agree that in 2021, it should not be easier to get a granola bar at work than a pad or a tampon when you need one. To tackle this, we started approaching the world's largest corporations in Hong Kong and mainland China. We wanted to talk to them about the notion of free period care at work, and to help them with distribution, we designed and 3D print these bathroom dispensers, made to order for new clients to avoid wasteful mass production. It has not been easy, but today I am delighted to say that over 10,000 people with periods in Hong Kong, Shanghai, and an increasing number of cities across Asia have access to free Luna products at work or in school every single day. I am so excited that for the first time in the last few months, our inboxes have been flooded with requests from organizations to implement this change. Don't take it from me with regards to how impactful this initiative is. Hear from some of the people within these organizations. You have no idea what this means to me, a 13-year-old female student in Shanghai. This is so cool, a 13-year-old male student in Shanghai. I never thought I'd spend a week talking about tampons at work, but everyone in the office is just so excited. Male staff at a major financial institution in Hong Kong. The third pillar is community. As an impact venture, the more we grow, the more we must contribute long-term to tackling society's most pressing issues. For us, period poverty is one of these, and it is affecting the lives of communities across Hong Kong. Period poverty can be summarized as inadequate access to menstrual health tools and education. To tackle this, we work with community leaders to understand the specific needs of their communities and in response provide free period products and education. A shout out here to Clarice, the founder of Art Women Hong Kong, a local refugee-run social enterprise who helped organize this period workshop.
It is through working with leaders like Clarice that we are able to make change. There is not a one-size-fits-all approach to tackling period poverty within these communities, and we are not the experts. We are merely here to support those that are in providing the resources at our disposal, as is the obligation of every single business today. So those are the three key pillars towards how we are building a period-positive future for ourselves, our community, and generations to come. How can you be a part of this mission? The first step is to understand exactly what a period is. For many of us, the notion of a period is defined as bleeding once a month. While this is not strictly untrue, this oversimplification of menstruation and the role that it plays in the lives of menstruating people contributes to the stigma that we face today. I, for one, was 25 years old when I realized that this was not the menstrual cycle. So I ask you here today, please raise your hand in the air if you can confidently name the phases of the menstrual cycle. Okay, I don't think I'm seeing any hands. These are the stages of the menstrual cycle: menstruation, follicular, ovulation, and luteal. Don't be ashamed if you didn't get the answer to that question right. In 5 years since I've started asking that question, one person has been able to answer it. That is one person out of thousands. The point here is that the menstrual cycle is not just bleeding. Our periods are part of a powerful monthly cycle that affect our every single day physical and mental health. Our diets, how stressed we are, the existence of underlying health conditions, these are all things that are affected by our menstrual cycles. It is my belief that we must equip everyone with this deeper understanding of menstruation. By doing so, we can support the well-being of half the world's population, but also crucially help those who do not menstruate to better understand and respect this process. This is critical to tackling menstrual stigma. I want to take you back to an experience I had at university, where, on a day where I was in a less than positive mood, a male student said to me, "Someone's on their period." I don't remember why I was not in a good mood, but I do remember I wasn't on my period, and this comment really didn't help. I believe, had he and I both been better educated about menstruation, his comment, which is, by the way, a very common misguided dismissal, would never have been thrown my way. Or, at the very least, I could have replied and said, "Actually, I'm ovulating at the moment, which means there's been a huge surge in luteinizing hormone. This actually typically puts me in a really good mood, but I've got a pretty heavy workload at the moment, so I'm quite stressed, and to be honest, your ignorance is just kind of pissing me off." So now that we understand that periods are more than just blood, how can we build a period-positive future? A period-positive future has a few key tenets. It means free period products at work and at school. Let's work together to put an end to the DIY toilet paper pad. Speak to your organizations and let them know that providing basic menstrual health products is a fundamental human right, and figure out how you can implement it. A period-positive future means education around plastic-free and reusable alternatives. I want to be very clear here. There should be no shame with regards to menstruation or the products we use, even if somebody is using plastic products. With this topic, shame is never a tool to make change. It will only inspire us to further hide our products up our sleeve. But we must recognize that the traditional period care industry is one of the biggest contributors to the plastic waste crisis we face today. In the UK alone, 200,000 tons of plastic period waste reach landfills every year. Data isn't available for Hong Kong, but I thought I would share this image of me and one of my personal heroes, Harry Chan, at a recent beach cleanup, where I found my first IRL pad washed up on the shore, which Harry assures me is very commonplace. So many people don't realize that these products take upwards of 200 years to degrade. And the thing is, menstrual stigma that we are all guilty of contributes to being unable to solve this plastic waste crisis. Take me, for example, when I first heard about the existence of the menstrual cup. A small silicone cup that can be folded into your vagina to catch the blood and which critically can be used for over 5 years, saving thousands of plastic disposable products reaching landfills or the ocean. When I first heard about this product, this was my reaction. But through months, if not years, of better understanding my body and overcoming the stigma that I had towards menstruation and my own menstrual blood, I now not only use this product on a regular basis, I am proud to say that it is part of our product portfolio at Luna. Not only that, the work that we have put into educating communities around the benefits of using this product means that this product is now sold on the shelves of mainstream retailers in Hong Kong and mainland China, like Watsons and City Super. In response to the many people, investors, retailers, partners, community members who told me, this product will never take off in Asia, I tell you that this is proof that when you give us the right support, we as menstruating people are capable of anything. Don't underestimate us. Give us the tools for positive change that we deserve and that have been denied to us for so long. A period-positive future means inclusive language around periods. Critically, not all people who menstruate are women, and not all women menstruate. It is really important that our language reflects this. We need to move from terms like feminine care to period care, and women to people with periods or menstruators. In equal measure, we need to stop using terms like sanitary and hygiene, phrases that imply that menstruation is inherently dirty, which it is certainly not. So those are just a few ideas for how we can create a period-positive future, and my goal is for you today to leave this room and do your research and think about how this can be applied within your own communities. I want to leave you with one final thought. Please raise your hand if there is somebody in your life that you care about who has a menstrual cycle. Please keep your hand raised if you see a future for them that is free of shame and stigma. Please keep your hand raised if you will join me in creating a period-positive future for all. Thank you.